You want to learn to make steak? Of course you do. Well, you should be eating it raw. But then again, I also don't really feel like being sued for giving someone cancer, now do I? Nah, so I'll show you how to cook it. Yeah, and you may or may not have noticed that this kitchen is ghetto as fuck. Very ghetto as fuck. Thank goodness we have alcohol. Hell, let's do it 2 and 2, right? Cheers. Forgot the salt and lime. On to the steak. Okay, let's check out the bad boys we need to cook this mother clucker. We've got our pan, olive oil for sauteing and grilling, tequila, granulated garlic, powdered garlic just the same, chili powder, salt, pepper, knife, steak. Okay, let's open this mother clucker up real quick. Look at that. Yes, girls, I'm gonna eat all that meat. The steak's been washed and is now ready for preparation. And I know you're not a fatty, so you're gonna just cut that fat off, aren't you, big boy? Dun, 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 dun. Now the steak should be at around room temperature, so take that little thing out of the fridge and leave it out for a few minutes before you cook it. Now what do we want? We want salt. We don't want salt just to make it salty. We want salt for the taste. Because what a lot of Americans forget is salt adds taste, not just saltiness. When we're done with the salt, we add a bit of black pepper. Boom, 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 pepper that. Pepper it, pepper it. Garlic powder. I specifically say garlic powder because it's a slightly different taste from regular garlic. Could cook it with the garlic. I occasionally like to do that, but you need the powder too. And finally, that spicy chili powder. Action! Boom, boom, boom. Make it all red. Like the Red Sea. You know what I'm talking about. But not too red because, for obvious reasons. Let's get that on there. And then you just repeat on the other side. Oh, look at that steak. Bam. I'm a little stressed out, and it is Wednesday night, so... Okay, let's cook. Now at this point, we've allowed our meat to sort of rest in the spices for a little bit. So we're just gonna turn that pan up to high heat. You probably can't tell, but the high button is clicked. So now, we just wait here for about like a minute or two. Just wait for the pan to heat up. When you put your hand over the pan, feel a nice warmth come along. You can add the olive oil, but not too much. About a tablespoon, a little bit more, depending on how much steak you're cooking. For the amount that we have, this will be plenty. Then you can kind of just swirl it around a little bit. Oh, yeah, we just saw that. Heating up for like a minute or two. Now, you don't want to heat up too much. At some point, you don't want to be sizzling. You want to hear it make that sound like once or twice. It'll sort of, the olive oil's kind of spreading out on its own. And then we can test it. Almost. See, that's almost the sound we want. Almost there. Yeah, now it's ready. Now you want to make sure you cook the steak on each side for about 30 seconds on the high heat. This is very vital, about 30 seconds before you actually lower the heat. Am I going to make you wait 30 seconds? Nah. Okay, it's been about 30 seconds, so let's flip these bad boys over. Now you see that color? That's how it's supposed to look every time. So we flip them over. They have to cook on this high heat for another 30 seconds, but we have to lower the temperature afterwards, right? And we don't want to quite overcook it. So lower that to like a medium heat and wait. Now we can even cook the sides a little bit, right? The sides are a little red. Now I know this kitchen's pretty ghetto, so we don't actually have any tongs or anything. But we will still cook a mean steak if our life depends on it. Even poor people have to eat and go out on dates in the ghettos. Okay. Now. So some people say you should only really flip the steak over once. I don't think it matters very much. You want to keep, well it does, you should flip it more than once. You want to have the steak cooked evenly, so you don't want any one side to be overcooked. See, if we left that there for a while, probably wouldn't have looked so well. Well, we don't want a well done steak. Well, if you have no soul, you might want a well done steak. Now when the steak is just about where you want it to be cooked, in my case it's about a nice medium rare. Yeah, medium rare. You want to add this bad boy. Worcester. Preferably in Paris, but not too much. You don't want to mask the taste of the steak. You kind of just put a little bit on each one, not too much, like little baby drops. And then you flip it over, flip them over. And then you add a little bit more, just a teensy bit more, and there we go. And then we leave it to cook for another few seconds in those succulent juices. Now when you're cooking the steaks, you can do sort of a little finger test, as I like to call it. Hot finger test. So what you do is you poke the steaks a little bit, and then you can estimate how much they're cooked based on this sort of finger placement. So if you put your thumb on your pinky finger and then you feel you feel how hard that is. That's because it's well done as shit. Here's medium well, medium rare. Raw. By raw, I just mean rare. And worst case scenario, if you're really unsure of where your steak is, you can just like kind of grab a knife and cut it on the edge a little bit. No big deal. Ooh, look at that though. It's pretty good. I'm feeling good about that steak. Then you grab a plate, transfer the steaks over. Turn the heat off. Kill the bottle. And then wait a couple of minutes for the steak to sort of cool down a little bit and absorb all of its own juices. Yes, that sounds exactly like what a woman might do. And then, when you're done waiting, you are good to eat.